I don't know how much you guys were into either of the card games, so if you played them or if you
I've
collected
played
them.
a little of both. I've played a little bit of both, yeah.
Now, I will go on the record and say that Pokemon is one of the worst card games I've ever played. Mechanically, it's garbage. It's a terrible card game.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get into a card game for it to be fun, don't play Pokemon. It's not fun. If you want cards that are going to be valuable, I mean, yeah, there's really valuable Pokemon cards, but they're not. It's not a fun game mechanically. Digimon? Did you guys ever play Digimon?
I did. I did play a little bit of the Digimon card game.
I did not.
I thought Digimon was a little bit better than Pokemon. Now, we're all card game buffs, so
Yeah.
like, you know, we all played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering and all that. So
Yeah.
I'm fully of the mindset that Magic the Gathering is still the best card game of all time. I mean, I don't think any of the other card games even come close. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, you know, it's got some depth to it, but I don't think any of the other ones come close to the amount of depth that Magic has.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh's come a long way since.
It has. I mean, and I've kept up some with it somewhat, but just based on how the game is played and the way the mechanics are set up for the game, there is only so much mechanically you can do based on the rule set of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the way trap cards are set up and stuff, there's only so much counterplay in a trap situation as opposed to just having instants and sorcery spells and, or, you know, that type of tap effects and things like that. Like, but
well,
this isn't about Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Magic.
It's like, what? Did we switch topics? It was I spaced out for a second. What?
No,
but,
this is about Pokemon versus Digimon. So if we're just coming down to those two, I think Digimon was the better card game.
I would agree with that. I think if I were to boil it down, because the Digimon card game isn't great either.
Right. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is like, I wouldn't go play Pokemon or Digimon right now.
I don't remember all the rules of either of them because it's frankly been years since I've played either of them.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I played.
But my problem with Pokemon is basically there wasn't a lot of strategy you could do. It was basically like you build a deck and it was just luck or not whether you got the strategy you had built into the deck out or not. There wasn't a lot of, you know, like strategizing in Pokemon. There was a little bit more of it in Digimon, but not that much more in Digimon, if I recall.
There was a level of strategy, and you learn this through playing. I didn't learn it through actually playing the card game though. I played the trading card game video game, which mechanically worked just like the actual card game. 6 prizes, your Pokemon slots, all the trainers and stuff like that. So there was a level of strategizing with like build to get specific Pokemon, rare candies, you know, the trainer cards, the items, and all of that. There was a level of strategy. It was just, it wasn't balanced was a big issue, because you'd have your big strong pokey cards like your Charizards, or, you know, someone had this like entire like team of just eradicate and just went through and was
one
like,
of the big things, the biggest differences for me is like Pokemon is one of the few card games that I ever played that I can remember that people just, the main majority of people that I knew that collected it purely because they liked the way the cards looked. And like purely for the sake of saying I have a holographic Charizard, not to put it into a deck and play with it. Like that's the difference. Like most people that collect Magic cards, I mean, yeah, there's going to be collectors out there that are collecting crazy cards, but I mean, majority of the reason why people get Magic cards is to make their deck better.
Yeah,
that's why they bought the card. It's not just because it's super shiny whatever card.
Well, and if you look at the way the reward system is set up in the Pokemon card game, that's clear too with the prizes, right? Because if I remember the idea, you didn't have to play this idea, but the idea was because a lot of these trading card games have this sort of rule that nobody does, where you're supposed to put up a card as ante, and then if you win.
That was a whole thing in Magic for years. I actually have a Magic card that has an ante effect. You play the card, and you can either give me your ante, or you forfeit the game. It's like something like that, or you have to add to it. It was something along those lines where you had to like give me some of your cards, or you lose, basically.
Yeah, and
I was like, what a bullshit card. I was like, what? I was like, wow. I was like, what an asshole thing to do if you're playing that way.
Was the card called Extortion?
It was called like, I want to say it was called like Dark Bargain or something like that. It is called Demonic Attorney. If opponent doesn't concede the game immediately, each player must ante an additional card from the top of his or her library. Remove this card from your deck before playing if you are not playing for ante.
Lol.
Yeah, I have that card. I was like, I read that shit. I was like, okay, so you have to either we have to both put up more cards, or you have to just give me your cards that you already put up. I was like, that's so you basically do that when you know you're about to win anyways. You do that the turn you're about to win, and you go, all right, look, motherfucker, you can either give me your cards you got, or give me more cards. Fuck.
I'm not going to allow you to go down fighting with dignity. You're either going to give me the card you owe me, or you're going to give me more.
Right.
I just remember the main problem with Digimon was it was a bit, and this could be a problem with Magic, but Digimon was a bit too slow for the system it had in place. Because I remember the goal of the Digimon card game was you basically wanted to get your Digimon all the way from rookie to master or ultimate level, depending on which translation of Digimon levels you're using. And that could take a while. And, you know, all the time your opponent's trying to interfere with you, and, you know, there was some combative aspects of the card.
And the fact that the art was cooler on the cards, because, like we said, nobody was really playing Pokemon or Digimon for the card game. People were collecting the cards because the cards looked cool, or because they liked the way they looked. They didn't give a shit. And it was the same for Digimon, I think. I think more people collected the cards because they wanted them to look the way they looked, not because they actually, you know, wanted to play Digimon.
I think Digimon wins the card game. That's true.
I think Digimon does win the card game. If you liked this highlight, be sure to tune in to the full episodes every Monday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.